I hope you'll are fine. Well, my name is Yusuf and I'm back on Yusuf Reacts. Well guys, today I'm gonna be someone who's gonna be talking about a very important, or I would say a very interesting cartoon series which eventually got converted into two movies afterwards. That's gonna be something that really has been forgotten now. If you guys remember, the segment that we guys have over here is gonna be the segment in which we discuss about those famous cartoons of 90s and 80s which really had a huge impact, and they were really something that were, not only interesting, but the kids eventually loved it. And if I talk about persons from my generation from the 90s also just loved these cartoons up, and eventually when they got converted into movies, it was really a dream come true. Anyhow, today what we guys are going to be talking about is going to be Robocop. Now, Robo and Cop, now both these things combined together made a cartoon that was just extraordinarily good. As I've stated before, it eventually got converted into two movies afterwards, and it was also something that was really good. Now, the plot of this cartoon was also something, or the plot of this series, animated series of Robocop eventually was also something that was really good. If I talk about this particular thing, what happened and how it eventually went along, very simple guys. It eventually has a certain plot that is there in Detroit where there is crime each and everywhere. Now there is a cop who is the one who eventually is the one who really has or always tries to put his life on the line to save and to have the people of Detroit live in peace. The name of that particular character is Alex Murphy. But eventually what happens that in that particular surge or urge, or in order to put that resistance to that particular crime rate, he eventually suffers huge amount of I would say huge amount of wounds on his particular body, eventually having such an impact on his particular body that eventually he's losing all the particular limbs of his particular body, and he cannot eventually operate. Now at that particular time there is an experiment that is going on of an individual in which they want to plant a particular machine with a particular human, and this is the best subject that they have because this is the only way through which his life can be saved. But the condition that is there, which was the most interesting climax over there, is this: that if his life gets saved, he would not remain that particular human anymore, because of the fact that over here we get the concept of that AI, the artificial intelligence that now everyone is so crazy about, and that is what eventually tends to happen. And when that Alex Murphy eventually gets converted into that machine like I would say police officer, that name is known as Robocop. So he's basically the cop, but now he has been converted into a robot. So when we talk about that particular thing, yes, he has one very interesting friend who is there. I won't say interesting friend, but because of the fact that when he eventually got injured, he lost his partner, and that is the reason why he wants to work solo. But he gets assigned a partner, that's a lady known as Louis, and he eventually gets developed a very good sort of a befriending relationship with that particular lady. Louis eventually also develops a love interest for Robocop eventually. But the thing that was there was what was the way they eventually took it up, and the way they introduced the level of artificial intelligence at that particular span of time. Now this was something which was really interesting, the way the features, and especially the way that animated series had that Robocop made up. It really had a huge impact. It was just phenomenal. Even after that, when we came across two particular movies of Robocop, it was also something that was too good. Basically, what the thing is, the thing that is there is this, that at the end of the day, there's the cartoons that, or the series that I'm talking about, are the ones which really had a huge impact as far as kids are concerned. Unfortunately, if we have a look at today's cartoons, they really are not up to the mark. Now, why do I literally say this thing? Because of the fact that they are unable to highlight these particular things. Like if I talk about this cartoon that I just discussed, or this animated series that I just talked about, it's quite evident, guys. We can clearly see it helps you differentiate between the wrong and the right, and how one particular individual is ready to sacrifice his life for the cause of good, and then whatever he does, how he eventually stops and makes peace in his own particular city. That's something which is also the most interesting part. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's review. If you do so, then please subscribe to the channel. Your likes and your comments are gonna tell me how much you liked my video up. So I want you people to keep supporting me up. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Take care. Bye.